of the jump for you guys. Hello. I'm sorry. I haven't seen you in a day. Yeah, it's been a weird video to make, guys. Just feels a bit weird going into the enclosure and doing this Ask Meg without Amy present. You know, I'm less emotional than I was a week ago, guys. I'll tell you that. Last week, you just need to mention the name Amy and I'd start to, the tears would well up in my eyes. And I've cried a lot in the last week, I'm not going to lie. And I'm still not 100% right. I mean, each day gets easier, as I'm sure it will. But I am positive about the future, and we need to be positive. Lots of good things happening, lots of good people out there have been sending their support. So yeah, we're going to try and move forward. We're not going to forget about Amy. We're going to hold her near and dear to us, as we do with all the other animals that have passed in the sanctuary, and we never forget them. Their spirit really does live on here at the sanctuary. The memories are always there, and the lives that these animals have touched is unbelievable. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Continue watching, and yeah, we'll chat just now. Oh yes. Oh. Who's roaring? Who's roaring, Magali? Eh? Who's roaring? How are you? Somebody was actually asking me the other day, why doesn't Meg jump on me anymore? And whoa, knocked my camera. Joe, that tail is like a whip. Let's ask her. Meggie, why don't you jump on me anymore, huh? Tell me, why don't you jump? And the reason is that she's old. So 17-year-old lion is like saying, why doesn't your 80, 90-year-old grandmother jump on you or play rough with you anymore? For a granny cat, I can tell you now, Meg is still in excellent shape, and she most people think she looks as though she's only about 5-6 years of age. So she's really faring well. Oh my girlie. Yeah, I really must just say that this is one of the hardest videos I've ever had to make. Let's go somewhere where it's a bit more private. Come sweetie, come. When asked how is Meg faring, Meggie, how are you faring, my darling? So what I do notice is that initially she is very excited to see me, because obviously it's familiarity, and yeah, it's what she would always do, you know. Kev's been away, now he's come back, and obviously, yeah, she would run up and give me hugs and kisses, as would Amy. And then they both would saunter off into the bush expecting me to follow, but that part's not happening. So she's generally sitting there and almost, I don't know, waiting for something to happen. So I went away to the bush hoping she would follow, but actually what she's done is she's just coming to the fence line and sitting there waiting on the fence line, waiting to see what's happening here. So she's trying to obviously be more interactive with the people, or with the lions on either side of her. And at this point in time we have Suja and Bongani on the one side, and as many of you will know, we did try and introduce Suja Bongani to Meggie a while ago, and then we also then tried at a later stage to just introduce Suja, which also failed dismally, probably because Meg and Amy were quite happy to be together. So she's come here to find some shade. I think, you're sitting in the paper thorns. Oh my gosh, these lions. It's a nut. So these paper thorns are horrible things. Try and get one. It doesn't look like much, but these little things cut you to pieces, especially if you just sit down on them. They go right through anything and prick you in the bum. So they're not the most comfortable things to lie on or sit on, but yeah, for a lion it's not a problem. So it seems as though Meg is wanting to be around her species, so she does spend time on either the fence where Suja and Bongani are, or moved them there on Friday, and or where George and Yami are. She seems to prefer George to the rest. George does seem to also have eyes for Meg. She's not mourning or crying out like I have heard in the past with other lions, where they actually vocalize, oh, which would obviously indicate that they're upset about something, they're grieving something. In the past, we have seen that the grieving is more because they're feeling alone than the actual grieving of something or the loss of something, confirmed by when you then put that lion with another lion that stops. And as I said earlier, there's some things that happened with Amy that even my mind is still boggling. The one particular thing was her waiting for me to get back from my vacation, a vacation that we actually even had doubts about whether we should even go, but then we were convinced to go because, you know, what would the point be of being here anyway? She was getting the best treatment that she could, and even towards the end she wouldn't even take food from me. So that was that. So I'm not unhappy that I did go away. Obviously it was a difficult time, but what I do know is that behind the scenes I think Amy was waiting for me to return, and as weak and as fragile as she was, she waited, and I got back on late on the Saturday. So on the Sunday morning I spent some time with Amy, and could see the inevitable, and could see in her face and in her eyes. I'll never forget the look. The look was really interesting, because she picked up her head and gave a call. She went, wow, and she hadn't moved all week apparently, but she actually got up onto a position like Meg is in now, and she looked at me and as if to say, I'm glad you're back. So I'm glad you're back, and now I can pass on. That was the look. I'll never forget that. And she flopped her head back down, and I sat there and stroked her head and tickled her chin and did all the things that she loved to be done to her. But I could see she was at peace. So a very emotional time, crying my eyes out, telling her it was going to be okay. And she got the message, because a few hours later she passed. So definitely something in that. She waited. Whereas if you had seen her, you would have been surprised. So yeah, how did she know? How did she even know when I was getting back? Who knows? But I think she was just waiting for me to return. That's Amy. I don't think one can explain the connection that one creates with these big cats. I think people think it's very black and white, very easy. You should just do X or Y. The path with Meg and Amy, 17 years of the most remarkable times. Hello, my girl. You are the funniest girl ever. Oh, but you're beautiful. Daddy loves you. Mwah. You're very confusing. Alright guys, well that was quite an interesting encounter with Meg, and certainly it starts to get me thinking more and more about what's actually going on in poor old Meg's mind. You know, so many things run through my head based on 22 years of experience of working with lions. So, you know, I started out having absolutely an emotional kind of connection with lions, and then as I started to work with lions, I started to realize that sometimes it was me humanizing or anthropomorphizing the lions, which I always say to people, be careful of doing that with animals such as lions, because they are wild animals and they don't think like humans who have evolved to be empathetic towards certain things. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of this very different hashtag Ask Meg video. Let us know your thoughts, comment in the comment section below. We do trawl through those and you know, read them and take to heart what you're saying, guys. So if you've got a good statement or an interesting thought process over what I've just said, please do share that with us, and we'll try and answer it either in another hashtag Ask Meg. Maybe this can be an ongoing Q&A thing. You know, thank you guys. Thanks as always for watching the videos. If you do like, please do share. Join the channel. If you're not, it's for free. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want to go one step further than that, you can become a member for a nominal amount per month. You'll get access to in-depth other content, and it really does help us to pay the way for making these videos and make them better, and just give you really stuff that you want to see. And it does help with everything that we do here at the sanctuary, as well as the foundation. A contribution does go towards the foundation too. So there we have it. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Till next time, bye.